Welcome to the Ag Inspo podcast, where we delve into the dynamic world of agriculture, uncovering the stories that inspire, empower, and drive change. Join hosts Rena Striegel and Ron Rabo as they explore the journeys of farmers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who are making a difference as they navigate the critical work of transitioning their operation to the next generation. From navigating family dynamics to developing the next generation of ag leaders, we'll bring you the insights and inspiration you need to thrive in today's ever-evolving agricultural landscape. So whether you're a seasoned industry veteran or just starting out, get ready to be inspired, informed, and empowered as we learn from best practices and a few colossal failures on the Ag Inspo podcast.
What is your why?
Mm-hmm.
Ron, you've heard my series on that I lead with my team at work, right? We had a in-service conference, if you will, just for team building of my team, right? And so I think I had about 65 to 70 fellow employees there, right? And it's really talking about your why and finding out what it is that makes you get up every day and continue forward. What gives you the passion to do what you're doing and build a better tomorrow for yourself and for those around you. And as we define that why, being able to share it and talk about it has been, I think, for me, one of the most rewarding things, because again, you don't know what other people are going through. But if you put yourself out there in a vulnerable sense, like myself, and being able to tell my story and just talk about a lot of those hardship days and those gloomy days, like you don't want to get out of bed, it's that you start to understand where people are at. And I think as you find where people are at, more people are probably there than not, right? And so everyone is dealing with something. And no one wants to really show their poker face per se. And so as you get to know them and create your vulnerability, I've found that if I can put myself out there as their lead quote, I'm the director, right? I have the title. I've worked my tail off to be where I am in my organization. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be there without the strongest team possible. And the only way I know how to be the strongest leader for them is to show them that I'm on the same level. I'm more screwed up than any of them, right? Like I joke that I'm the fastest pirate now in the US, right? But you gotta put it in a perspective that people can relate, other than, hey, here's our stretch goal for fiscal year 2024. What are you going to do that, right? How many phone calls are you going to make? How many miles are you going to drive? How are you going to trade that position, right? Like those things all happen. But until you get on the level with the people around you and those people that are in your organization or in your family, you're not going to get them there without figuring out where they're at and where they want to go along with you. And so for me, defining my why has really been about helping others build up what their why can be, right? Like everyone's like, oh, I just go to work, right? I need the money. I need the benefits, right? I need the medical. Well, you do, but you have to come at it from an angle. You can come at it from that angle, or you can come at it like, I'm feeding the world. I'm getting to create some pretty cool stuff out there that you're going to the grocery store to buy, right? And so I can look at it those one or two ways that way, but at the end of the day, it's the people around me that help me get there, right? I'm not very smart, but at the end of the day, I've got smart people around me. And if they have a love and a passion for what they do, that's really what creates it. me getting that gold medal, right? It was important to me. But for me, it was more important to show my boys that they can accomplish anything as long as they have a goal, they document that goal and they work towards it.
Mm-hmm.
My coworkers, if you want a bonus, here's what I think are the parameters at which you need to be. How you get there, let's figure that out. Like, I want you to be as creative as possible. To me, there's no bad idea. There's mistakes that can be made, and you can reduce some of the costs involved in mistakes. But at the end of the day, I give them autonomy, right? I want to trust, and I want to love, and I want to show passion back to my people. And so as I think about these things and do these activities, right? That's why I do it. I don't do it just to say, oh, I got the medal. No, I want to tell the story. I want to inspire one person to be better today and look at the little things in their lives and say, you know what? I'm going to live tomorrow too. I'm going to go on the next day and the next day and the next day. And I'm going to smile doing it. And after that, we'll figure it out.
Because everything that we do in life, no matter what we're doing, we're always setting an example.
Yeah.
And those boys are, and the world around you sees that. And I think that it's important for all of us to be mindful about the fact that no matter what we do, how we respond to our environment, to things that happen to us, to our circumstances, to the way that other people treat us, we're always setting an example. And it's so powerful, and that's such a big deal. And keeping that perspective about our why and why we're doing what we're doing, not just for the medical, not just for the benefits, not just for the money, but why are we actually doing what we're doing? And I think that that is such a great takeaway from your story and from everything that you've gone through, is that this piece about perspective is perhaps one of the absolute most important things that we can do as human beings.
It really is. And it's frustrating I'm just trying to laugh. I always have to laugh about everything I talk about, but it's almost annoying how true it all is. And it just keeps coming back to you. Like, I knew the answer is so simple, but why do I make it so complex? Why do I try and figure out all these other things, right? I read all these memes, I watch all these reels, I listen to podcasts like to be better, to change and all that. It's not really changing, it's just being better. It's recognizing the little things and not getting out in front of your skis so far that you're danged if you do, danged if you don't. Even if you do accomplish exactly what you set out for, and you miss the celebration of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Spencer graduating from high school for you, Ron. Like, there's 5 things I know that you think that you've probably missed in his life because you were out in that stinky windstorm or dodging a tumbleweed because you had to feed the cows. But at the end of the day, like, that kid loves you and respects you. You're going to continue to watch him grow. You're going to be part of his memories, and you're going to inspire him to be who he wants to be, right? Like, that's what it's about. But we lose that perspective in the world sometimes because of all the brrr that's going on. But I don't know. Every day I have put my leg on, right? Every day I got to remember I've changed, and I will continue to be different than I ever was when I had 2 legs.
Yeah. What an inspiration.
Yeah.
Rena, I told you this was going to be awesome.
I know. I have so many things that I want to dig in. My little brain is just like got all
I could talk to Sam all day long. And I'm like, okay, so everything that I need to get done today, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll do it another day. I just want to talk with Sam.
Yeah, I do want to ask Sam because I I have no doubt, you have very infectious energy, right? Like you're happy and you've got that big,
Thank you.
gorgeous smile, and you just like, oh yeah, I want to go ride bikes now. Like it's time, like let's go. And so when people are around you, and there's no doubt they get inspired by you, they get that great positive energy that you're kicking off all over the place, and they're just gonna go out and start burning up the world. We all know that that's a hard thing to do, right? Because like you can't just go out and burn up the world and have sustainable energy for that most of the time. So I would imagine in your role as a leader, as a dad, you probably are just mentoring tons of young athletes as you're doing the things that you're passionate about. What is your sort of guidance and coaching and mentoring to them when they've got these big goals and they're really fired up about it and they just want to take off and get it done? How do you talk to them and really teach them how to kind of get in that sustainable energy place to where you can go from where you are to whatever big goal you want to accomplish? How do you coach and mentor people around that?
I think for me, it's really, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and how to keep that in perspective, especially in today's, I will say, social media world and world of gratification that needs to be instant. It's a big challenge. It's one that I fight with constantly, right? Like as I win these para competitions, right? Like all I can think is how fast I was when I had two legs, right? How at 48 years old I can still beat the 20-year-old, right? Like how do I beat that 20-year-old? I'm not stronger. I'm just a little smarter. I have one match to burn. I'm just smart enough not to ignite it too soon in a race. Or if I do ignite it soon, I'm going to make sure I completely destroy myself to get there. But back to how I coach and that, for me, I think it goes back to my father and my grandfather in this, what I would call their stubbornness of, it doesn't matter the time of day, it doesn't matter the temperature, it doesn't matter any weather condition. When it's time to check the cows, you're out there. When that calf is coming breech, you have to act. You don't get the opportunity to say, oh, I'm tired. Oh, it's too cold. No, you have to start going. When I'm doing Leadville 100 mountain bike race, same predicament, right? I know that when I start that 104-mile bike race, it's going to take me anywhere from 8 hours to, I'll say, 9 hours, 9.5 hours. So I am dedicating 8 hours of my day to pedaling a dumb little bike up a big, big mountain and then right back down that mountain for a little belt buckle and a medal. Well, you fight every emotion possible. You are putting yourself through the most strenuous physical challenge of its life. Your body is burning, you have to break it down, just like the elephant. If you burn 1,000 calories an hour, you ride that bike for 9 hours, that's 9,000 calories that you're going to consume. Your body will digest 275 calories per hour. So it's not a race of fitness. It is a race of attrition. It is a race of nutrition. And so starting with the batteries charged, 2 to 3 days of carb loading and eating everything I possibly can, to know that my batteries are charged up, because every hour I'm going deficit 750 calories over 8 hours. 9 hours starts to play the game. And so breaking that elephant down into those small strategies of okay, these are my calories, these are my sodiums, these are my things, right? It all of a sudden that 104 miles, 11,000 feet of climbing is, I need a gel every 30 minutes. I need to drink a water bottle every 30 minutes. Like, you start to break it down. Same as the training, right? My training is started with very low base miles to very intensive weeks to periods where I rest. I do nothing for a week and I feel like I've gained 60 pounds, right? And I worry about that. But then the next week, my coach will give me 16 hours on a ride schedule over 7 days. And I'll be like, KK, I absolutely hate you. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Just like the sister in New York City that you were talking about. You have no idea what I'm going through. You don't know my work schedule. You don't know my kids' hockey schedule. You don't know all the things that are going on in my life. But yet you're giving me 16 hours of writing. And that last week you gave me 0. Like, it doesn't make sense. But it totally does, because you're eating the elephant one bite at a time. For me, I think it's just, again, that farm kid in you that doesn't know any different. That a 14-hour day is no big deal. That you sit on you wait. The only way you know the time of day is by the revolutions of the local farm radio. And by the time you've heard the 4th commercial on a 4-hour cycle, you've been there on that tractor for 12 hours. That means, so it's just, to me, that's how you do it. As far as guidance, it's keeping it simple. It's finding one little piece of gratitude each day. If you really want to break it down, I do a 5-minute journal every day. That 5-minute journal is something you can buy on Amazon. It's like $5-10. You wake up in the morning, you write 3 things that you're grateful for. You write an intention of what do you want to accomplish today. And it only gives you 2 lines, so you can't write too much. At the end of the day, you open that book up and you say, what are 3 things that you did what are 3 things that you're grateful for? What did you learn today? And that's it. Literally, it's 5 minutes. When you open these books up, you're like, gosh, why didn't they give me more places to write? Because I got a million things to talk about. Fine. Start just puking on the pages. But for me, every day that I do that, it requires me to stop everything that I'm doing, whether it's waking up in the morning before I get on my bike or right before I fall asleep at night, where I could be on my phone looking at the internet. I just simply write for 3 minutes. Sometimes it's 1-word phrases. It could be Jack, Gage, fed the dog. Like, those could be my 3 things, right? Like, but at least I stop for a minute, because it's not really the activity itself, but it's the practice of giving yourself grace and gratitude each and every day. And so that's how I start to break it down for people, and just, I don't know really how I inspire people other than just trying to figure out how to be in their shoes, and the moment you start to do that, you start to understand where they're coming from. Or maybe, like, you slow down on your criticality of what they've done or didn't do in your mind, right? Like, oh, Ron, what did you do today? But I can also say, man, if I was sitting in Ron's shoes, I'd be like, do I want to change oil in that tractor? Do I want to drive a truck down to Sam's flour mill? What do I want to do today? All are equally important, but it's just, which one do you pick? And then how do you right size each opportunity? I don't know. What a question.
I love it.
It seems to me that that, like, society is in a constant accumulation and accomplishment mode. And I don't think we should be in accumulation and accomplishment mode. I think that we should be in more of a encouragement and supportive mode, because that's what makes our lives better, but also makes the world a better place. And in the meantime, if those are the things that we could just focus on, we'll accumulate and we'll accomplish as much or more than we could have ever imagined. But I think that we'll be more fulfilled as a result of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ron.
Well, Sam, that time went by a little too quickly for me.
Yes, me too.
And so Sam, we're going to have you back on. I'm gonna make
Great.
that declaration right now. And just thanks for taking your time today, and thanks for sharing who you are, what you believe, and what you've experienced for thousands of listeners in the world. And I know that, you talked about positively affecting the lives of one person. Well, as you're looking at me right now, I'm your one guy, but I can guarantee you there's going to be thousands of others. So thanks.
That's what it's about, right? It's energy, it's vibes, it's flow. And if you can continue to do that for people, you're going to leave a legacy that matters. Or for me, what I feel matters. And so that's the message that I hope one of you out there today heard. And if you ever want to give me a call, I'm sure you can look me up. I'm sure you can find my number. I'm pretty public out on the world of Google, LinkedIn, what have you.
Yeah.
And we'll just rock and roll from there.
Examples aren't built on things, or legacies are not built on things. Legacies are built on people.
Thank you.
And you're that person. Thanks, brother.
You bet.
Yeah, so for everybody who's listening that wants to follow Sam, we'll get all of his socials in the podcast notes for you so that you can follow him and so we can all cheer him on. So when is the big race, Sam?
So August 11th of this year, August 10th, excuse me, will be the Leadville 100. Yeah, we're just going to get on that starting line and show some grit, and we are going to go fast.
Awesome.
We will be cheering for you for sure. Good
Oh,
luck and all
man.
the best. And thank you so much for being on and just sharing your story to date. I have no doubt that if we caught up with you in the next year, we're going to hear even more amazing things and more things
Yeah.
you've learned.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to this episode of Ag Inspo. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
You've been listening to the Ag Inspo podcast with Ron Rabo and Rena Striegel. Find Ag Inspo on Farm Journal's YouTube channel and anywhere you find your favorite podcasts. For more information about today's guest or the resources referenced today, please see the show notes listed below. Join us next time when we will meet another inspirational leader who has taken those small steps to bring about really big change.